Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode. This is not Ask Me Anything, but we will have a very special guest for today. I actually just guested on her interview moments ago, so we're kind of switching the role here, and I'm very excited to have her first time on my platform here. By the way, if this is the first time you're seeing me, I'm Katrina. I love what I do. I help immigrant career moms move beyond the 9 to 5. Let me see here. Yeah, let me know, guys, where you're tuning in from so we know how global we are. If you're tuning in live, comment live and where you're tuning in from, and comment replay if you're seeing this on a replay later on. And also let me know where you guys are tuning in from. And today we have a very special guest. I actually posted about her about a week ago, 6 days ago to be exact. And this is the title. This was the title of my post. So I'm making it my title also for today. From chalkboards to choice, how this teacher mom retired at 41 and tripled her income online. All right, without further ado, this has been ano ba to? Long pending na. I am very honored. I am very happy and excited to share the stage on my platform here. Coach Anne Marie Wilson, all the way from USA. Hello, Coach Anne. Can you please say hello to
Ha.
everyone?
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are you all doing? I hope they are still awake.
Yes,
Hello.
it's 2 p.m. here. What time is it there on your
Same
end?
2 p.m., yeah.
Same. Oh yeah, we have the same time. There you go. Sorry, which state you are in exactly?
I'm in Maryland. It's like 45 minutes away from Washington, D.C., 4 hours away from New York. So that's on the east.
Oh, okay. That's why same time zone. Maryland, USA. There you have it. And Coach Anne Marie, I will let you do the honors. Just a quick background of who you are and how you got in the online space.
All right. So, yes, my name is Emery Wilson, but I'm originally from Cebu, Philippines. I came here to the US about 16 years ago. So, I met my husband here. I have two kids, but I came here in the US because, of course, I wanted to be a teacher. I was a teacher already back in the Philippines for about 3 plus years. So I have finished my 20 years of teaching and I already retired last June. So about to be a year just because of this business. So when I found this business in 2021, I told myself that I'm going to retire at the age of 40. It did not happen at 40, but it happened at 41. Still,
Mhm.
that's very amazing for me. This business has really changed my life. And yeah, that's just an introduction. How did I start the business? It's because it was during the pandemic. I was doing virtual teaching, and like most of us, I was also anxious and what's going to happen next, what's going to happen in the very near future. I realized that, oh, I'm the breadwinner. I've always been since I had my first job as a teacher, and I don't know any other jobs but just being a teacher, right? I was scared that what if something has to happen to me? Who's gonna send them money to the Philippines? Who's gonna take care of my kids? And more so when I realized that I was living paycheck to paycheck and that I'm not ready for my kids' future. And just a background, we were very poor back in the Philippines to the point like my aunt, that's also an overseas worker, has to uh, helped me finish my education from high school to college to even my master's degree. So I have that feeling. I really have that feeling that I need to be the one as a mom, as a parent, to make sure that my kids are good, that they could go to college and they finish through my efforts because that is my responsibility as a mom. And education is so big with me. And I don't want them to finish college by borrowing money from the government, having all those loans and all that stuff. So a lot of the reasons. But when I look at my bank account, it was like almost negative. I don't have extra income. I could not do, well, maybe I did. I tried selling lipstick, makeup, coffee, pre-love bags, but I am not good with selling. I don't think that's part of my skill sets to really convince people to be part of something or buy something. So that's how I started my business. I just found this business through literally Facebook with an ad from my mentor that said I can do this business anywhere and anytime, and I don't have to give up my job. So for me, it was like, yep, check. I listened to the coaching call, and the rest was history.
There you go. Thank you for that quick
Yeah.
background, Coach. And a lot of us don't have uh, the background or previous experience. And I think really the global health situation, I like 5 years ago, it was 6 years ago. I just yeah, 5 years ago. It's really a huge nudge for everybody, right? So I have just three major questions. Maybe we can insert a few in between. Let me see here. By the way, I just want to say hello. We have here so far Faith. Hi, Faith Samuel, watching from Cape Town. Congratulations. Welcome aboard. There you go.
Wow, too
It's
much.
a very exciting part. Yeah, 2 months into the business. Awesome. First question, what mindset shifts did you have to make early on that most people overlook when trying to build wealth and freedom?
Oh, mindset that you can do it. That mindset that you can do it, because I to begin with, I'm not hindi ako nagbubuhat ng sariling bangko. But when I started this business, actually, I know my skill sets, and I know I was like, oh, that's it. Oh, that's it. Because when we were being shown of what this business is and the things that we need to do, that we just need to get plugged in and we learn from there, I know that I'm a lifelong learner. So I know even if I don't have those, I will be able to make it. But it's a different story when you say that you can make it, that you can be rich, that you can be free. Imagine that. As what I've said, a personal background is we were very poor. And as the young age, as being in elementary, I knew the problem why my mama and papa keep on fighting before was because we are very pobre. And I told myself, I promised to myself that I would never want to be poor, right? But crazy enough, it has been 13 years before I found this business. I was still living paycheck to paycheck. Okay nga yung sweldo ko as a teacher, but I was stuck with debt. And I was like, wait, hold on, hold on. Ano pa bang pwede kong gawin? But when I saw this business, what really triggered me were the results in our community. Somebody retired at the age of 23. What? Somebody retired with their three jobs. Like, what? Hold on. What were they doing? So I right away changed my mindset to like, wait, if I did not get super successful as being a teacher, don't get me wrong. I'm so grateful. I'm so blessed to be able to come here in America. And that is because of my profession as a teacher. But when I realized that I know I could be wealth, I would not be able to get rich and would retire at the age of 72 if I will continue being a teacher, then I was like, no. When I found out that this business can possibly really take me there of wealth as well as freedom, then I stepped in and really made sure that I was following the footsteps of those that are already successful. Whereas, as a matter of fact, you were one of those people that I researched and I said, wait, this is a Filipina. She's from this. And honestly, that's what I did. I even mentioned this in my coaching calls. And I was like, look around for people that you get so inspired and see how they're doing it, copy it and make it your own so that you would be successful as well. And that's what I did. When I knew in the coaching call that it only give or take 3 to 5 years, you'll be able to achieve what you want. And I wanted freedom. I wanted to retire. So I really put it out there. I want to retire at 40, right? It did not happen at 40, but I retired at 41. You know why? Because I put in the actionable steps that would really take me there. So it's not enough to just have a mindset, but a mindset to like, oh, I'm going to think of this. That's daydreaming, by the way. But if you put action to your mindset and you really work towards doing it, even if you don't get successful at first, but you keep on pushing, that is when you would really see the results in your business. So From early on, I was the one that says, honestly, I was not skeptical because when I saw this business, I saw the people. I said, no way, that 75 back then, 4 years ago, 75 people in our community. I doubt if they change all their names, put in the results. Now, I saw how, how organized our training. I really looked up to people. So for me, I did not get doubts, but I just was, I need to start this. I need to start this because I know there's really something good in this business. So that kind of shift from employment mindset to really become a business, because the business can take me to where my goal is at that point in my life.
Wow. I think what I'm getting from there is really right from the get go, you have that belief and you have the very specific, I want to retire at 40.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's just a little 1 year delay, but hey, it's
Yeah.
still retirement, right? And as Bob Proctor said, you have, what do you really want? You
Mm-hmm.
have to start there. And you did not stop there, that, okay, I want this, I want that, but you couple it with action and the emotions, the imagination. Like, yes, you daydream, but you couple it with action. That's where the true power lies, right? You attract all of those things because you're not just visualizing, but you are basically putting in the emotions. You're already living that dream and you're taking action. So I love that. And also you mentioned that I love when you mentioned that I think you're just one of the few who don't have any skepticism at the beginning. um well, considering that you kind of I think you mentioned that you did try like a little side businesses in the past.
Mm-hmm.
um how about your spouse? Was he kind of skeptical at the beginning, or was
Well,
he like "Yeah, okay, go for it, honey"?
yeah, a little bit. The background is my husband has a brick and mortar business. So he has his
Mm,
painting company even before I met him, and has always been successful with that. That's him, and because he had, this is one thing, this is an advice that nobody wanted to solicit from me, but if you are confident enough of what you're doing and you know what you're doing, even if you don't, but you show that you do, and you try your best, and you have a track record of really doing what you want to do, then you prove to your significant other that whatever you find, he knows that I will do it, right? So when I found this business, I was struggling. As what I've mentioned, I don't have my credits lined up really good. My credit scores were low. My of course my bank account's almost empty all the time. Anyways, how would I start the business? In order to start a business, you need to start it with, of course, definitely you need time, effort, and money. And again, we need money to start this business. Yes, our initial information is for free, but I know I have to invest money to make money. And my husband understood that. But I did not tell him at first that I was starting this business. So I've learned it first myself. I've researched it myself. I know it's not a scam. I know I knew I just wanted to be the same people as in the same community, but I could not be in there until I fully put in myself in there. But how could I? I don't have the money. So the
brilliant.
skills that I
Yeah.
have, I was like, I'm gonna put on some red. No, just kidding. It was Valentine's then that I found around February 10, 12. Here comes Valentine's, and I was, if something is not making you sleep, then that must be so good that you really have to take action. But I could not squeeze my mind as to where I'm gonna get the money. But I know my husband has money. So I know my husband has the money, and I know I have
He is
money.
the business partner.
Correct. So what I did during Valentine's, he gave me my gifts, my diamonds, and all that stuff. On our way home, I was still. He said, "What's wrong with you? You're still does not look happy. What's going on?" And I have to tell him, for a week now, I have been hiding. Not a week, yeah, for 2 days, I have been hiding this feeling, trying to, like, what would I do? I tried to apply for a credit card. My credit's so low. Like, no. So I finally told him that I have found this business and it cost me this much to start, and that you have to support me, because if not, I don't even know where to I know I need the money and I need to borrow from our savings. Our supposed to be joint account savings that only him puts in the money. And I'm not even shy to tell everybody about that. His money is our money. So I told him I need this money. And he said, "Are you crazy? Remember, I just gave you money for your bag's initial principal investments, and where are they?" And he would always tell, "Sell all those bags so you can start your business." I said, "No, I'm trying. I could not get a sale." And I started crying and bawling myself. I said, "This is not fair. I came here in America, blah, blah, blah. How come the banks would not let me borrow money? I feel so disrespected. I'm a teacher myself. I can pay it, blah, 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 blah." And so he was like, "But no, you're not borrowing money from me." And I was like, "Man." We went home. He got the silent treatment from day one that I told him. The second day, and here comes February 17th. So if you count that 14, 15, 16, 17, actually it took him like 3 to 4 days to finally say, "Okay, I'm gonna let you borrow this money. You better bring it back. You better be good in that business so you can have it back." And truth be told, 6 months ROI in the business already because I have found my two eagles right away. You know what I mean? So I needed to prove to him it's not enough that I borrowed money from him and he supported me, because I know, as what I've jokingly and truthfully say, if your husband really loves you, they're gonna support you no matter what. Even if it costs money, they have to find money for you. But our role as wives or as partners is to prove to them that we're doing our best to really show them that what we are trying to start with, or whatever that is, it might not be this business and anything, like you want to go back to school, you don't have money, your husband has to pay you for that. You have to be good in what you're doing so that hindi bitaw kas kanang they're not gonna blame you. "I only did this for you, but you only did this." You know what I mean? So I know I have a good track record of really putting in the effort in anything that I do. So I know he trusted me. He just could not let go of that amount of money. But then when he was like, I could not take it, he would always say, "A happy wife is a happy life." So he would want to have a happy household. So he let me borrow money.
That's true
My story.
partnership out there,
Correct.
right?
But
Yeah.
now, honestly, after 4 years, he actually became my business partner because he would never wanted to be part of the business. But I told him, we could rename his name when in the future, and our kids, because of our generational wealth in our business, he can actually have to start the name under him and give it to our son or to our daughter in the future.
There you go. That's
Mhm.
true partnership out there, right? Just a few points that I want to also restate and clarify with that. Yes, there is an investment involved for those of you wondering or remotely watching right now who's not yet part of the business, but you get to decide what investment amount you are actually wanting to be part of because it depends on your goals. And who knows, you might not even invest like zero, even $0, a dollar here because it might not be a good fit. At least we are just giving you the bigger picture here. Okay. And also, when it comes to skepticism, that's pretty natural. That's normal. If you're in that bubble, that's actually a smart way to look at things because that means, or either you or your spouse, because that means you're doing your due diligence. That's our comfort zone bringing up that wall. And it's usually based on our past experiences, the negative experience that we've had in the past, especially when it comes to online. So that's okay. Give yourself some grace and then explore what's possible for you, right? And next up is, so thank you to your dear husband who eventually gave in.
Those are skeptical also. I know that you love your partners, but that's their way also of protecting us, because there's a lot of scams out there,
Yeah.
but yeah, you just have to research it for them as well, because they would not know and they're not there during the coaching call.
Yeah, and I think it's also good, like in any partnership, I think there's always that one balancer. I think that's a good partnership when there's one is a more of a risk taker and one is like, more reserved because that person grounds their relationship. And for me, for you, that's your husband. And for me as well, it's my husband. And I think, yeah, we need that balance, right? So we're grateful for that.
Mhm.
And next, is hypothetically, if you've been here 4 years, you've tripled your income, You are now able to, oh, by the way, before this one, I want to show this. You're able to quit your job. I want to share this and I want to take you back. Ta-da! I actually shared this on my page. So
Mhm,
you said here, as a mom of two and a former teacher, oh my gosh, 2 decades of teaching. I never
mhm.
imagined I'd be retired at 41, running my own online business full time and living life on my terms. Well, how, so they gave you like a mini retirement party at school?
No, I actually, the backstory of that, I was emotional after that one. It's actually my co-teachers because I was teaching alongside with another special ed teacher just right across in my classroom, and then I have assistants, paraprofessionals that made it somewhat big. But I was emotional that day because I brought in my kids with me
Mhm.
the last day. But honestly, the last day they just gathered us in the office. Our principal, she just said, "Thank you for all your service. Those that are coming back, regenerate. Those that are not coming back, thank you for your service." And I was like, "Wait, what? That's it?" My 16 years in public school here in a high crime rate city, that's all I get. A thank you, maybe a little card, right? But that's where I got so emotional and because I was like, I have put in my heart and soul. I am. Why do I get emotional? Because I put in my heart and soul. It's so hard to deal with special needs kids, and especially those parents as well. And on top of that, we have administrators that are always just on our end. But that's all I get. That's all I get, and that's all I get. So I did live. Those that are in our community, I did a live right away, getting off. Just closing the door, leaving my classroom, and I got so
I think I
emotional.
saw that. Your children are with you, right?
Yes, and they were like, "Mommy, it's okay," because I feel like, wow, I'm grateful that I have co-teachers right across my classroom that had seen me, even if I don't need to be 67 to retire. I'm 41, but I still have put in my service to these kids, right? I did not feel valued, Coach Katrina. You know what I mean? Like, they feel like I'm just a number in there. We'll find another teacher that's going to serve your class, and that's it. And that's honestly, that's how employments are. You can just leave, and the next day you will have your replacement. You know what I mean? That's why I was just so grateful that I have sacrificed my 20 years of teaching. In replacement, I have a business that's really a people business. Made sure that we walk on the stage if we get our highest milestones. Make sure that we got we got a little money here and there for all of the efforts that we do in this community also. But I was just emotional during that time because I know I have served my purpose then, and that's the end of that era. Mga parang Taylor
Chapter.
Swift.
Uh-uh.
It's a chapter,
Wow.
just like what the title is from Chalkbirds. My choice is to be with my kids and my family, and I've really pinned down the most important things, and that what makes me happy is even if I put in my 40, my 30 years, my however much years in teaching. Yes, I'll be remembered maybe one time, twice by my students. If they remember me, again, they have special needs. They might not, they might, but my kids will always be there for me. And finding this business had really made me gain my time freedom, that the quality of time that I have now, because that's always my bubog, no? Coming here in America, and just like you on your maternity leave, at least you have decided during that time. But with me, I did not find this business yet. And just going back when my daughter was in daycare. She was two and something years old, and I was teaching. I picked her up around 5, 6 o'clock, and she was like, "Mommy, where were you?" I said, "Babe, I was teaching. I was in school." And she was like, "Well, I didn't have a mom today." This was, wait, 12, 13 years ago. And I said, "Wait, what do you mean you don't have a mom? I'm here right now." And she was like, "No, we had cupcakes with moms because it's Mother's Day, but I did not have a mom." So I
Oh.
always share this story because that makes me really like, oh my gosh, I didn't have a choice. I had to go to work. I have to be at work. That's just one of the many things that I wish I am with my kids. Like progress reports, parent teacher conferences. I could never be with my own kids because I have to be the teacher in the other school to be the teacher, so instead of being the mom. So when I have found, that's why, back to your question earlier, that's why when I saw freedom and this business can give me that, I really put in all of my effort, because it's not too late
Mhm.
yet. My daughter is in high school right now. I still have my 4 years of truly be with her, because I know, as culture here in America, they will leave, they go to the farthest college they could ever want to go. But at least now, 24/7, I'm here. Anytime they want, like, mom, let's go here. Mom, I want to do this. Mom, can you do this? I'm here for that. I am a mom 24/7 now, but when I was a teacher, honestly, even if I'll say that I want to be a mom to them first, that was not a possibility. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm just grateful. I'm happy that God had shown me this part. It's even true that, life begins at 40. Mine begins at 41, because it's a totally different lifestyle that I have right now than when I was a teacher.
I love that. We wouldn't know the backstory to that photo, right? And we were like, oh my gosh.
You look
And
so happy right there, but there's really.
yeah, maybe what I'm getting from that is it's an affirmation for you at that moment. Like, hey, you're happy to have had that chapter in your life, in your teaching career. Obviously, that was your passion, but the gratefulness, and at the same time the realization, like, hey, you made the right decision, because this is what the best that they can give you. You're just a number at the end of the day. Like, just recently, I'm not sure if that was you or someone else who shared, like, this person got laid off like twice at Microsoft, and there's another one after that that I saw that this person actually is the CEO of this huge company, and then he was just laid up, like, just like that. We're all numbers, and you have to take emotions out of it at the end of the day. For the company, you're just a number, but for your family, you are their world,
I
right? And
Yeah, and honestly, that actually also gives an extra point for my husband, because of that situation and that feeling. I poured out my emotion to him and say, "Hey, they didn't even do anything. They didn't even give me a certificate. They didn't even do all of that." You know what? My husband did an ASAP party for the next weekend and invited the family members and celebrated my years of teaching. And I was so surprised with that. The most important people were there. The one that helped my husband organize, which was actually a teacher also in our school system, but she's also my eagle. She's actually in the business, so she knew the feeling. So she helped my husband organize it. And when I was in there, the feeling was just like, wow, who are in there to celebrate what I did? My family, his family, obviously, my family is all of them are in the Philippines, so nobody came. um but that was last minute. They've organized a party, because that's just me. I just want to celebrate, right? But nobody can celebrate me. Well, my husband gave that to me, right? And spent all that money just for that. DJ, dancing, pictures, and all. And then my business partners, half of the guests are actually my business partners that came in and celebrated me for my previous job. You know what I mean? And that really made me cry some more, because my husband said, and my friend that's also in the business said, even if it's last minute, they tried everybody that I knew from the school system, and guess who showed up? Only two, and their husbands and wives. My very first co-teacher when I was in a different school. My very first co-teacher. I was co-teaching back then, and I was just like so grateful to her that she came. But just imagine how many people I have worked with in the system, and only one came. Actually, two of them now. So
Mhm.
that's just like, for me, it's just like I value that, because I know I have put in my time, my effort, my love to this. But yeah, hey, we're just gonna have to cry over spilled milk, but move on with life, because the next day I had to fly to Japan, and we're like, yay, time freedom. I don't have to worry about not celebrating that. I can be off for a couple of, literally, I was off for a month. I went to Japan. I went to 10 countries with Coach Elaine. I went back to the Philippines, enjoyed life, where I could not have done that when I was still a teacher, because I have to go back for summer school teaching, blah, 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 blah. But, just enjoyed life and really put value more to yourself, because we know we can do more.
There you go. And also Australia this year. Where else have you been for the past few weeks?
No, I first was invited in Mexico. We did that gather, no, not gather and grow, but it's a meetup, but it's in Mexico. That was in November, and then I went to Australia. And what's also significant in Australia was the aunt that helped me finish my education. She actually brought me to Australia 17 years ago when she had her long leave, and I have visited the places that she, but I did not pay any single cent because I was a teacher in the Philippines, but I could not afford that. But she showed me the world, and actually that opened up, when you travel, you open up like, oh my goodness, this is Australia. I would love to be here, but God did not want me to be there, made me come here in the US, but that's a different story. But anyways, I went to Singapore, I went to Hong Kong, I went to Australia because of her. But this time when I went to Australia, I flew her from Perth to Melbourne, and I paid everything. She had not spent any single dime in that trip, and that made me feel so good and emotional. I know we're not that expressive. We don't say I love you too much, but that action right there was for me saying that's my giving back, even if I have helped the whole family, but it's truly her. And I want to spoil her because I know she loves to travel to and all, but this is a time that I could give back to her. So that's Australia. And when I was in Mexico, I got invited to speak in Australia. When I was in Australia, I got invited to speak in Italy. And I have not said no to any of these invitations because I feel like I have found my purpose. Even if, we don't get paid to travel, even if we pay for what we do in there, but it's a tax write-off. It's just the experience. This is just one thing that God was telling me. Okay, you said you wanted to travel. Go ahead. This is your way to travel. Because going back again in my previous, or when I was younger, I wanted to be a flight stewardess. I wanted to be an FA, but I'm too short. I even shared this in my success story. I'm too short. I could not do that. We are poor. We could not go to flight whatever school, right? But God had shown me a different way of traveling the world, and that is through this business.
There you go, right? Enjoying it and at the same time educating other people, giving inspirations. And apart from, now you get to travel anywhere, basically working anytime, anywhere, the flexibility. What other, just to follow up on that, what other massive blessings have you gotten from the business? Because yes, we know we get a lot, like you can see the progression here, and I put here the caption, it's not about the stack of money, right? It's about who we become to earn it, from being an exhausted teacher to retired at 41, rewriting the rules, the growth, the grit, and at the end of the day, yes, it's not just about the money, right? But what that money can do. So how this business has change your family's life. Obviously, you were able to quit your job, travel more, work from anywhere, anytime.
Yeah, I love this picture actually because that's the visual of the growth in the business. And honestly, you could not be just saying, "Oh, I want to be happy. I want to make things that make me happy." But doing all those things honestly would entail money. Like just like my story earlier, for me to be able to show that I got my aunt, I have to have money in order for me to spoil her. When I say that, I want to travel, it needs money for that. But aside from the money, is what you've said, it's really feeding in my passion to really see my purpose here, because it's one thing that you're passionate at something, like I feel like my passion is really to transfer that kind of learning. As what I've said, I'm a teacher by profession. I love to explain things. I really want to see the efforts that I put in and being transferred to others, and that itself, my passion became my purpose when I was a teacher. But little did I know that when I came here in the business, the first time that I found our business owners in here and we were doing mastermind, and I said, I want to be on the same platform as them. I want to host that. I want to do that. I want to do that. But it had upscaled to a different level when I got invited to speak in Mexico, in Australia, and will be in Italy. Like I know it has been offered to others, but I feel like there is a connection, especially when I was talking to our Persian business partners. Personally, they invited me for a dinner and I went, and I know there is no financial connection, but I was just showing them more about the business, answering their questions, and they were saying they were very grateful to me that I have, you know, put in the time to really answer their questions and really sat down with them. and that I am their answered prayer. That itself, I was just like, wait, this is just like a few of those that were in there. But to personally hear it from them, it's such a good feeling. And we have to feed in our soul. And that is not just the ego that we're feeding, it's actually our soul. Because for me, I always would, I'm a believer. I always would believe that God had put us in a certain place, time, and event for a reason. And the reason why I retire is for me to be able to go to places that God had already placed in for me.
Mhm.
Because I might not be earning a million right now yet, but I
Yes.
know I
Powerful.
have done my purpose and
Mhm.
doing my purpose and will be doing more, because it's a natural trajectory of the business to help that are in our business circle or our team, so that when they become successful, we get successful, we got money, we get, incentives and all. But for us to be able to help others that don't even have financial connections, but you translated that inspiration to them and they also in a way be successful, that's a different story. I would not have done that if I stayed in the four corners of my classroom. You know what I
Mhm. Yeah, that's your own ripple creating the bigger ripples globally, right?
mean?
And hypothetically, if you lost everything today but kept your experience, what exact steps would you take in the next 90 days?
Mm. I want to take advantage of social media still. There
Mhm.
are still a lot of things that we can do in social media, but I hope everything does not include my family in there, because I would be lost without them. By the way, I get to, I'll be lost without them. I hope I'm not going to be able to lose my mind and everything, but other things aside from that, I feel like I have survived because of the supports that I have, especially my husband, my family. Might not be all the time with my family back in the Philippines, but I know I can feel their love and support to me, my kids. If I have them still, with me, I know I'll be able to rebrand myself and redo the things that, because of the experiences that I have, I still will be able to make it out there. And for me, honestly, it's not just the money. I would always say this, it's not just the money, it's that feeling that I get from whatever I'm doing that keeps me going.
Mhm.
So even if whatever happens, I would still find a way to inspire people, because that itself is a story, that itself, the challenge that we'll be coming out of, that itself will, if we will just tell the world about it, then we can inspire people. So I will take advantage of social media. I still would love to go live. I still would love to like tell people what I'm experiencing, so they can actually also go through what they're experiencing. And if I could make money out of it, why not? There's a lot of ways to make money out of all those social media platforms and other digital platforms out there.
Yeah, it's like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Like you can take anything away from me, but you can always come back stronger, because I think that's really one of the things that we didn't expect that we are actually going to get from the business, is that it will definitely make you stronger,
Mhm.
right? Especially with all the experiences, the mindset, and all.
Mhm.
And last year, looking back, was there a moment that you felt like you almost quit? Like, oh my gosh, this is too much. I'm overwhelmed. And if there is, like, what, or even if not that point, but really down, because we know in any entrepreneurship, any businesses, there's always ups and downs, right? What pulled you through that down moment?
See, I'm struggling to find it. I'm struggling to find it. I'm just so in love with the business that we have. Because
I
if you're
think
in,
that's really crucial, because you find joy in everything, and that is really huge. I think that's something that I kind of taken for granted at the beginning, because I'm like, I'm a go-getter, like I have to achieve this, da, da, da. And then I tend to realize, like, hey, I also need to enjoy the journey, because the destination is also the journey. And when you enjoy what you do, it all actually shows. The people can feel your vibration with that, right? So
yeah, and I'm gonna tell you a backstory. I have been wanting this milestone that I've been wanting for 2 years. People might see me always active in our community, right? And if you're gonna compare well, there's no point of comparison, but if you're gonna compare per milestones, a lot of people had gotten their milestones way ahead of me, right? But I did not look at it like that. Some days I would say, why? But I have not quit. I have not quit because I know I have seen a different purpose in this business. I would always say it's not just the money, for as long as the business still pays my bills and my husband would not get mad at me that my bills are not getting, honestly, like, you know what I mean, I am now paying so much of the insurance because as a teacher myself before, I don't have to pay for insurance that much. Now we have to pay almost $2,000 and we have to split that in half, and we're like, wait, you are the one that quit your job and I'm paying another thousand in our bills now because you quit your job, so something like that. And the business still covers that, the basic, and the business still keeps me happy. So it's just like, would you want to be in a place where you just want to keep on doing it for the money, or you're here, you know the money, I know the money will come, but in the process I still have not given up. I still watch a mastermind, I still am very involved, I still do this, and I still am being part of that. And nobody questions like, how much are you earning right now? I said, for as long as I know I'm earning much more than what I have been earning before, I'm good with that. But nobody can pace that time freedom that I have right now, you
Mhm.
know, that I could just go anywhere I want to go. I could be there for my kids 24/7. I can travel the world whenever I wanted to do it. That itself, I mean, there's really nothing to go back to. And um even this coming weekend, I will be in New York to receive that Association of Filipino Teachers awardee as the retiree. And I showed the picture to my husband and to my kids, and my kid was like, "Mommy, you're the youngest in here and you're the most beautiful." I was like, "Wait, stop, don't say that." You're like, "Yeah, that's the truth." Well, because I retired at 41, babe. You're looking at the 67s and 70s. Obviously, they had their time as well when they were younger, but I'm just, on top of that, I'm just so glad that in my prime years now, I am still able to do the things that I really am happy doing. And that's
There-
because of the business. Yeah.
I love that. Really, the keeping the perspective, like, and it's, having that positive perspective in any wherever you are in the business. I think that really uh, your audience, we feel that in your post, being happy and all. Of course, it's not always sunshines and butterflies, but you having that perspective of always being grateful to in whatever season of your life you're in. So I think that really speaks volumes. So thank you so much. Before I we you give the last message to all our viewers, I just want to acknowledge all our viewers here. Let me see here. You both are still like Aranette. Yeah, back to back. Hi, Coach Phoebe. Thank you for being here. Coach Jen Luke, hello, hello. Uh, from Ontario, hello. Retired from 15-year nursing within only 5 months, started this business, was free at age 45. Congratulations. Always inspiring. Coach Phoebe. Hi, Steve and Ellie. Hi, Ellie. This is Ellie, one of my business partners. Um, Biggest day was 22K, and a day biggest pay month 55. There you go. 1 month. Send this to beautiful coaches, a message to start your own success business, guys. I love that. Congratulations to inspiring women. Hello, Zainab. Thanks for spreading this incredible opportunity. Hi, Nick. Hello, hello from Toronto. Ellie from Michigan. Katie, hello from London, UK, my business partner as well. There's Florence. Oh my gosh, Coach Phoebe is like testimonials here. 44K tax refund. Yes, we do pay taxes, and yes, some of us also pay huge taxes, which is a good problem to have. Letty, hello from Alberta. Isa, hello from Ohio, USA. Watching live from Florida. Coach Phoebe, watching from New York. Hello, Christiana. Hello, hello. Deposited a total 26K this week, you guys. Look at you. It's raining for Coach Phoebe there. Um, Hello, Elmira from Reno, Nevada. Hello, Maria Santos. Coach Arnett. Josephina from Texas. Oh, there's so many. Eline. Hello, Clarice. Hello. Oh my gosh, you guys. Jean and Rick, Rhea, Michelle, Sinead, Ellen. Awesome, awesome. This is endless. Wow, hello. Hey, sis, happy birthday, Coach Mercy. There you go. And just to end this one, thank you so much, everybody. We appreciate you being here. You know, your presence. This is what keeps us going because we know somewhere out there people are listening, whether you're in the business or just exploring this remotely. We hope to inspire. This is not an accident. I always say this. I always believe that it's divine appointment. It's a sign maybe that you can get out of the rut that you're in. If you're feeling in your rock bottom, maybe this is something that you can also explore for yourself and for your family. For those people who are even remotely interested, Coach Anne Marie, like what's your message for them? This it's already 2025 is almost halfway over. What there's still like halfway more for 2025 for those people who are wanting change this year and beyond, but they're kind of scared if social media is the way to go. What's your message for them, even if they're just remotely tiny bit interested?
Yeah, I want to put out the basic out there. If you're spending money online, you better know how to earn online. And we have the best platform for that. It's even if you don't have a background, even if you don't have a business background, even if you don't have skill sets that you think that are needed for digital business, we got you. We have a proven system that has been tested by thousands of people worldwide. We're right here. I'm a teacher by profession. Coach Katrina has been doing a lot of things, but then she's stuck with this digital business and she is now very successful in here. So, with that, those that are still wanting something, do the research, do take action, because it is when you learn about this business that you can decide for yourself if this is truly for you. And we have a live webinar every Tuesdays and Thursdays, or we could even give you the replay link for just 20 minutes. It's up to you. If you feel like you don't have time, that's an excuse, but hey, we will take it. But take action. Message, yeah, message us, message Coach Katrina, and give yourself justice by knowing more what you can do with your life. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, just comment start and we'll help you get started wherever you are watching from, whether from Coach Anne's page or my page. We'll help you get started. Thank you so much again, Coach Anne Marie, for being here today and sharing your inspiration and wisdom, not just to our audience, but also for me and for being vulnerable in the moment that you shared about your retirement. We appreciate that. And thank you to all our audience who have stuck it here from since 46 minutes ago up until this point. Thank you so much and see you around. See you in San Diego, California next month. All right.
Exciting
Thank you so much, everybody, and have a wonderful, blessed day. God bless everybody. Thank you.
things.